Neill, after a long, drawn-out international break, there's finally some competitive football to look forward to at Starks Park. First of all, how are you feeling?
Oh, like probably all our fans, players, desperate to play. I think you look back, it seems like a long time ago we played, and normally after a kind of disappointing game you want to just play again. We were fortunate that we had the testimonial, but definitely think the boys will be ready to go out tomorrow and put that right.
It really isn't until you find yourself on a Saturday afternoon scrolling through the channels trying to find some football to watch. You know it's how much you'll miss it once it's started. For your own point of view as a manager, is it a period where you get a chance to give everybody a little bit of time off and do a bit of extra work with the players, or is it just, as you've said, you just want to have the games coming thick and fast?
No, you want the games, but from a football fan's perspective, I'm with you. It's rubbish, when there's not that club football. I mean, I love supporting my country, but international breaks right now are not the most exciting from a fan's perspective. From manager, it's different. It was a good opportunity for the players to get a little bit of time off, but also put some real good work in. We've had some really good work. We've achieved a lot in that time, and we've got kind of full complement of players apart from those fun back training. So I think that, if anything, it's given us that opportunity to really have everyone ready, which is good. So I think we've made the most of it on both sides.
Absolutely. Finding that balance must be very difficult, to know how much is a good amount of time to give the players some time off, because we all know, it's a busy schedule when seasons are in the thick and fast of it, so you don't often get a full weekend where you get that time off, but at the same time not giving too much time off and having that period to work with the players.
I think that's where I've been quite fortunate. I've been doing this role for a few years now, and I think I remember what it's like to be a player, and I think we've got to remember first and foremost, these guys have got families, kids, wives, that they've got to get some time to see. They're really committed to being a footballer, and that means, even when you're not here, you're resting, you're relaxing, you can't necessarily go and do some of the things that you can do, so give them a bit of time to go and have a little bit of a break, a mental break, but then when we're here, we're working, taking use of that. So I think we've got the balance right, but we'll certainly find out over the next few weeks, and certainly tomorrow if we've made use of it.
Well, you mentioned about the testimonial, Ross Matthews' testimonial game against Hearts. It was a testimonial in name, but the way the game was played, it was not a sort of the usual testimonial style of football. You could see yourself down on the side of the pitch getting animated with the players, and speaking to Ross after the game and some of the other players, you're demanding high standards of them even through that. How important was it to have that game where you get a chance to give the opportunity to play to a few players who haven't been able to play, and also get a chance to really stamp on your style of play that you want?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I've said it before, but the most important thing that night was Ross had a great night, which we achieved, but quite quickly followed by that is, like, we're still very early in my time here, and it's an opportunity to play against a good Hearts side with loads of good players. Like, we wanted to get something out of it. I made that clear, like, in the day before. Like, we want to get something out of it, and we got plenty out of it because the players played with great enthusiasm, great energy, great intensity, and we've seen that for most parts of the games since I've been here. So yeah, I'm going to demand that, because every time we step on that pitch with the Raith jersey, that's what we should accept, nothing less than that. So they did that, and I think they'll have went away feeling a lot better about themselves. Because we spoke about when you've got a disappointing result, then you want to put it right. That was the next best thing. So we did that, and then we came back in with a lot more positive outlook probably in things, and as I say, it's been great this week having all these bodies back fit, competing for places.
Well, you've got, like you say, you look at the squad that you've got now versus what the squad when you first walked into the job was, as well as that you've got a couple of new signings. Frankie Dabo's obviously played against Hearts, and we've got some minutes in his legs, but Cody David as well, who's come in, must be really pleasing for you. Yeah,
first of all, I think Frankie, he's come in, he's looked very good, but we also had to build him up. Right, so that game against Hearts was great for him to get 70 minutes. So that's good. Scott Brown started, another guy that I've not really had the opportunity to pick from the start. He's back, and then you mentioned Cody. Again, we look at our squad with Lewis Vaughan getting injured. We're really relying heavily on Jack Hamilton and Callum Smith in that number 9 position. I think they're the kind of two. So we just felt if we lost one of them, we'd be very light. We've got a lot of strength and depth in other areas, but that's something where we just felt he would offer us something between now and January. In competition, we need competition. Again, we talk about playing Hearts. I'm still learning about these guys. I'm still making judgments on them. That's part of every day in football. But certainly right now, as I get to know them, so every day is a day to compete and show yourself well.
When you sort of look at the amount of messages, letters, emails and videotapes that guys like yourselves will get sent from players, agents all the time. When you get the chance to get somebody like Cody in to have a look at them, what is it that stood out for you that you felt that he was the right person for the job for us?
I think there's a lot of things going to that. I think you can imagine at this time of year, it's not easy, you know, with the market in respect to it's only free agents, so you're very, very limited, and there's going to be very few players that are going to tick many boxes at this point. But he's got a record of scoring some goals at a good level. He's obviously trained, and in training some of our players can see some of the strengths he's got. So again, as I've said, like, there's potential there. We're not going to put too much pressure on him again. Like Vincati, he's going to need time. We're not expecting him to start anytime soon, but he's there, and hopefully we can get the best out of him. And it's like anything, I'm sure Cody's come here full of desire and hunger to prove himself, like all our players should be doing. And then it'll be up to him. I'm sure there'll be an opportunity along the way for him.
Brilliant. Well, looking ahead to tomorrow, Saturday's game against Queen's Park. Last season we had some real ding-dongs with them, a couple of 3-2s on either side of that, red cards, everything, Panenka penalties in the last minutes and all that kind of stuff. What are we expecting from Queen's Park, and how are you looking to set yourself up?
Well, they've started really well. They're obviously in a good position in the league. Callum's someone that I played with, and someone that's been obviously very successful as a manager, and he's doing a good job at Queen's Park. Good side, obviously the experience last year of how good they are, they attack well, they've got good young players, as Queen's Park always do. But another opportunity for us, I think, at home. We've been very good in that short time here in terms of performances. We need to go and build on that. We need to see more of that, what we saw against Falkirk, what we saw against Hamilton, what we saw here against Hearts. That's what we need to see at Starks Park. Big focus on ourselves. Of course, again, recognise Queen's Park, we're there in division for a reason, but we know when we've got everyone fully fit, competition is strong in the squad, that we expect to see that reflected in the performance tomorrow. Absolutely,
and we mentioned right at the start of this interview the international break and how we're all just desperate to see a bit of competitive football, but how important is it that the fans come out in numbers tomorrow to get behind you guys and the players to try and cheer us over the line?
Yeah, I'm sure they will. I'm sure, like we've just spoke about, fans will be dying to go and watch, you know, bit of football, club football, so I'm sure they'll get down here. And again, anyone that's been here, I think, will have been seeing a lot of the positives on show, so I'm sure they'll come and get behind the lads, and it's up to us as well to give them something to shout about. So that's what we're going to really work hard to do.
Brilliant, Neill, can't wait.
Good.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.